College of Law taught me how to think like a lawyer. They taught me how to present myself as a lawyer. Even though I did not take any courses necessarily at the College of Law that marry up exactly to what I'm doing today, there's just no question that all of those building blocks about how to think about the law, how to understand the law, are things I use every single day. Those that most stand out in my memory mostly are from first year, perhaps because of the terror of the first year, who knows? But Peter Bell and Laura Lape. I wanted to be Laura Lape. Steve Wexler, just the funniest guy on the planet, made me think I loved contracts till I tried doing business law for a while and realized that contracts are not nearly as funny as he made them. And then later, Rob Nassau and tax. And I still have sound bites from each of them chirping in my ear from time to time, reminding me about basic principles of law, and I carry them with me. So in terms of diversity and inclusion, this really is critical. There is a fundamental problem when those laws are not welcoming, or when the process is not fully incorporating of all aspects of our society and all facets of the diversity of our society. Our firm does a reception every year for new incoming law students that represent some facet of underrepresentation in the legal profession. It's an opportunity to get them connected very early. I guess we all just have to remember where we came from, right? It doesn't take much in my memory to go back to terrified first year, equally terrified third year, then only somewhat less terrified first year practicing lawyer, where you just feel like you're walking malpractice. And so all of us give back to the profession by just helping someone else along, and it really is helping the next generation. It's doing no more than what someone else did for us. So, do I have any fond memories of Syracuse College of Law outside of the classroom? That is a question that would only be asked by someone who does not know me and did not know me then, because I had no fun. I was voted my favorite award, although I treasure this award too. Still, my favorite designation by far is my graduating class did not vote me most likely to succeed. They voted me most likely to spontaneously combust. And that was me. Well, I'm flattered, I'm honored, I'm just very grateful. And there are any number of people from my class who frankly probably merit this more, but I'm very grateful that I was chosen.
I was an undergraduate student here at SU. I was a student athlete, and I got to know quite a few people in the law school. Teammates of mine, in fact, who had decided to attend SU Law. And I got to learn what they were doing and learn about the law school through them. And for me, this was home, and I wanted to stay here and continue my legal education here. I learned how to think, and I learned how to learn and work with people, and I think those things have carried through to today. I built a really good foundation here for the skills I needed to compete in the legal marketplace, and I'm forever grateful for what I learned here. I impart to people who work with me the things I've learned about hard work, about working as a team, the things I learned here at this law school. There were many professors who did, but two who stick out most of all are Marty Freed and Professor Travis Lewin. Those two were, I felt, for me, in my interest in the way they approached teaching, were special. I got engaged in this place. More importantly, I really began to listen and learn from other people. First from professors like Travis Lewin and Marty Freed. And then from my classmates. I learned from Liz August, Mark Bachman, my wife, Melissa Dunn, Dana Morris, Eric Paley, David Pierce, and Dave Pateska, and many others. I had an incredible time here. I had probably more fun as a law student, believe it or not, than I did as an undergraduate. I met my wife here. We had immense relationships here that we continued through today. So it was a very rewarding experience, not only in the classroom, but outside the classroom. The College of Law is a community. And I think as lawyers go on, graduate from this law school, they have an obligation to come back and teach law students, or at least share with law students the things that they've learned. To me, that's very important. This journey of becoming a lawyer is not an easy one. And it deserves nothing less than your full commitment and attention. And if you give that, I promise you that law school will be the most rewarding intellectual experience of your life and will prepare you for an amazing career. And so the way I've contributed back to the law school, part of it is financial, part of it is also helping law students come up with a path for their career, to talk to them about things that they should be doing as their career develops, and also to look for opportunities to hire SU law students. All of those things are things that I try to do as much as I can with the College of Law. I want you to find a way to be bold and take risks. Don't be limited by doubters. Be confident in yourself, and I want you to dream big.
A good law school education is the foundation for any legal career, and I received that at Syracuse. There were a lot of professors that made an impact on me. Two in particular were Emil Rossi and Travis Lewin, both of whom I took courses from and then got to know even a lot better because they were coaches of the national trial team that I was on. I have a lot of fond memories of Syracuse outside of the classroom. I remember there were very few courses that my wife and I took together, but one course was Commercial Transactions with Professor Donnelly. And I took it along with one of our very close friends, Rocco Mangano, who also graduated from the College of Law in 1981. My wife was a great note-taker. Her notes would rival those of Stephen Emanuel and Gilbert in terms of the horn books you could buy. So my friend Rocco and I would occasionally skip class and go engage in independent study of commercial transactions on Marshall Street. And somehow my wife's notes found their way into our hands, and we didn't miss much in terms of preparing for the final exam. The fact that my son graduated from Syracuse College of Law means a great deal to me and my wife. It was fun watching him in the career that he's chosen. He also wanted to be a trial lawyer and got to work with Travis Lewin and also Emil Rossi during the time that he was in law school. And just those connections really brought us closer together and made a big impact on him, and it was fun for us to watch him go through the College of Law. I think it's very important for alumni to give back to the College of Law, and I'm not just talking in terms of financial contributions, but in my position, I see so many young lawyers that are looking for mentors and looking for experience. I make it a point to hire Syracuse law students as interns in my office during the summer. This past summer, I had Sarah Pertel and Amy Johnson, both Syracuse law students, work with me in chambers. And just being able to mentor them and hopefully teach them something about the actual practice of law was a real treat. When I first heard about the award, I thought, boy, they must be scraping the bottom of the barrel here. But when I saw the list of other award winners and past award winners, I was really humbled and honored to be considered in the same group. Syracuse has meant a lot to me over the years, and I really am touched and honored that the law school would give this honor to me.
Two stand out. One was Professor Herzog. I think his first name was Peter Herzog. It was many years after I left before I would deign to call him Peter Herzog. But he taught torts my freshman year, and Professor Ronald Silverman, who taught contracts. Herzog, because he gave a sample exam to the entire section in torts. And as everybody knows who's gone to law school, you really don't know what you're getting out of the course. You're not sure if you're getting this right. You feel like you're lost until you get your exam back, and then it's often too late. It was an amazing time commitment on his part, and that really impressed me, and it's impressed me more through the years as I've thought back on it. Professor Silverman was just an incredible teacher. He could make things so dynamic and so interesting that I ended up taking every course that he taught at the law school. Even some courses that I look back on, and I loathe the idea that I took it. One was real estate finance. I have no desire to get into real estate financing whatsoever, but I took the course just because I so admired him as a professor, and I got so much out of his classes. You know, I did so few things other than study outside of the classroom. I'd be hard-pressed to think of anything totally disconnected to studies. The person who subsequently became my wife was living with me at the time. We got married early on in my first semester. So I think probably the events around that marriage was an incredibly small wedding. It was her mom, myself, and her, and that was about it on a Saturday morning. And that weekend, I think my first Thanksgiving in the law school, that was very, very special to me. My bent has always been trying to see the law as something which applies to people, not just the briefs and the papers. So I think my orientation toward trying to help people and use the law to help people constantly reminds me of the fact of what I'm doing, and it keeps me from getting too far afield and taking things too much for granted and divorcing myself from the people whose cases are in front of me. I remember going into the bookstore with Bandit Bob's, which a number of the older folks watching this will remember. And I walked out of Bandit Bob's with the books for the first semester. I remember looking at Black's Law Dictionary and thinking, that's a really elegant looking book. And no matter how things go in law school, if I don't graduate I can put that on my bookshelf, and that's really an impressive book to have in your living room. So to go from that to now getting this award, it's just it's so much more to me than folks can possibly realize. It means a great deal, and I'm really humbled by it.
Let me first thank the Syracuse University Law Alumni Association for selecting me for this award. Sam Donnelly, of sainted memory to me, came to our law school the year that our class started. He actually became adopted as a member of our class. He was a young professor. I took all of his courses. He and I became very close friends, and we were friends till the day he passed away. Ralph Karras I never got to know very well. Nobody got to know him very well. He was a very austere person. He was the dean of the law school. When he called on you or me, it was a frightening experience. I would have to ask him a question back so I could have a chance for my adrenaline to drop a few levels in my head before I began to mutter some stupid answer. And what a great man he was is best highlighted by the fact that when he passed away, actually during our second year of law school, students and professors were just crestfallen. I've never seen people so upset at one time. And I remember John Houston well because he almost talked me into becoming a tax lawyer and almost talked me out of becoming a trial lawyer. So I had great regard for him for his devotion to me. What I remember is friendships. I remember my close friendship with Shelley Kurtz, with Andy Kiley, with George D'Amour, with Andy Pappas, and interestingly enough, one other person who went on to greatness, and that would be Joe Biden. It's an alma mater, which means our mother, I believe, and we owe back to where we came from. We only live once. I think you should give back to where you came from. After so many years, it's become somewhat of a grandfather thing. I mean, I'm basically 50 years older than most of the students if they're traditional age students. I love helping them, teaching them, and then helping them with their careers if I can. This is all about the students. And if I were to paraphrase LeBron James, this award is all about the kids, but I'm taking it home.